we have 10 competitors on the track. There are the NCAA meet records and the NCAA lead. Shilan Ildiz is in this final. There she is for Oregon, one of 2 Oregon Ducks in this final, and that's why they have so many opportunities to get onto the top step of the podium here in Virginia Beach.
Shilan set that collegiate record earlier this season, and coming into this meet, women's distance coach of Oregon, Shalane Flanagan, says that she has such a strong engine. This is actually the first final that Shilan Ildiz has made. She'll have her teammate Vilma Nilsson there on the outside of this field. She's very assertive in these championship racing scenarios, so they're really going to use one another across this field to try to position themselves to score big points. Then you also have Margot Appleton of Virginia, one of the most experienced racers in this field. She has multiple top 5 performances at NCAA indoor and outdoor championships. She can run this race in a variety of ways. She looked very strong yesterday in qualifying.
So they're in 2 groups, 7 on the inside, 3 on the outside. They will stay in those groups until they've gotten through the far turn, and then they will break for the pole on the finishing straightaway. We should learn very quickly what kind of pace we can see being set. Oregon runners can, of course, help themselves by working as a team. And you can bet that they have their eye on the prize. They know exactly what the situation is, and they need to have as good a day today as they had yesterday as a team. Ildiz and Nielsen right up front, controlling things.
34-3 for the first 200 meters. Shilan out front. One of the things that Coach Flanagan did with the Oregon women this morning, they sat down, they did some film breakdown from yesterday's qualifying to really get an understanding of the field and examine how they executed from a tactical standpoint. Nielsen had the fastest time in qualifying yesterday. Appleton sitting there in 3rd position. Also keep your eyes on Chloe Forrester of Washington. 68 seconds through the first 400 meters.
So the race being controlled up front, but it's an honest pace. There are the competitors. 10 in total, only 8 score.
It's really advantageous for Oregon to have these 2 athletes up front who have similar capabilities. It allows either of these athletes to really have a chance and also to have confidence in using one another. We have really seen, since she arrived in Eugene, Shilan Ildiz develop as a racer. She had struggled a little bit in terms of championship race tactic execution, and she has made immense strides from that standpoint since she's arrived on campus.
Continues to be Ildiz in the lead, and Nielsen second, both juniors at Oregon. And on the rail, that's Maggie Congdon of Northern Arizona, and then Margot Appleton right outside her. Here comes Lorena Rangel Batres of LSU. She stayed kind of in the back in the preliminaries and knows that she needs to be up when the action starts, which is about to do.
Rangel Batres was also on LSU's distance medley relay last night. She anchored them to a 4th place finish. Shilan Ildiz was the anchor for the Oregon Ducks that took the runner-up spot. Starting to see some traffic. Amina Matug of Washington jumps on the inside of the track over the rail because things had screeched to a 74.6 last 400 after they opened things up in 68 seconds. You can see a lot of athletes getting very antsy with how tightly packed this has become.
So the race has become tactical, which I think was probably the plan between the Oregon athletes, and that's forcing the pack to run on the outside of lane 1 and out into lane 2 in order to avoid those kinds of problems and potentially step on the rail, get knocked into the infield, etc. But things are definitely starting to heat up here. Rangel Batres, the SEC champ, is right there on the shoulder of Shilan Ildiz. Nielsen has drifted back. Excuse me, I put the wrong way. Nielsen in front. Ildiz has drifted back. Those leading duties taking its toll. See, there's some pushing. All the way out into lane 3 goes Appleton.
Maggie Congdon looks really strong right now. She was a finalist in this meet at both the mile and the 800. Margot Appleton going way wide, trying to charge her way into a position
Maggie Congdon now into second place.
Matug has done a fantastic job of responding after she got knocked on the inside of the track, now gotten herself into third place. Here comes Shalon Ildes trying to make a charge. Nielsen is all by herself up front.
Ildes is going to want to try and get into a higher scoring position, but it is Vilma Nielsen, the junior from Sweden, who has this race under control. Maggie Congdon doesn't seem to have an answer unless she's gathering for a final sprint. And from Princeton, here comes Melina Skathard with a full head of steam. Nielsen's going to win it. That's 10 for Oregon. Skathard, I think, got second, and it looks like Ildes got fourth. If that's the case, that's 15 points for the Ducks in the opening event of today's final.
61.4, that last 400. We mentioned it, that Nielsen was the fastest in qualifying. She has been so sharp coming into this meet. Coach Flanagan describes her as very naturally savvy, and certainly she showcased that right in that race, that final 3 laps, the way she set it up. As soon as that race tightened up and things bunched together, she had confidence in her strength and in her speed. Takes a look over the shoulder, knows it is well in hand.
And it was Mina Skathard that got the second place points by 100th of a second. That's the first win for an Oregon miler since Jordan Hasse back in 2011. Here are the final results. 1 and 4 place finishes for Oregon. And John has the winner down on the infield.
The winner's been busy. Had a heat last night, some DMR, you come in second, you come back. Where do we find the energy to put out this performance today?
I feel like we have been really strong throughout the entire season, and I've done like Europeans last week. I did 2 races in a row, and I feel really strong, and I'm in shape, and I'm just so grateful to even be in contention of the national title, and that I pulled it off today. It's just, I'm like in awe, like I'm so happy, so grateful, and yeah, I'm happy to be a doc today.
Was there a turning point, kind of an inflection point in the race where you said, okay, this is where I need to go, and this is going to be my winning move?
I was planning on staying next to Shalon until 400, but I felt that someone went up to me, so I was like, I feel strong, let's just go for it, and yeah, I'm so happy. I was so strong in the end. It's crazy. I'm a national champion. I don't know.
That's all right. We won't bother you. Go celebrate your teammates. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Listen, all national championships are not equal. If you win the mile, the 5,000 Oregon, that's a big deal. Big deal here. Dwight?